Hi everyone, how are you doing? In this video, I will talk about the values as found in the preambles of our 1987 Philippine Constitution. You know, it is being a good citizen, it is important that we know these values and that these values must be visible in our actions. So, let's start.
As an introduction, I found 16 basic Filipino values in the Constitution. As I have said, the NSTP as a citizenship training focuses on translating the good citizenship values as reflected in the preambles. So I made a what we call cluster. We have Pagkamakadios cluster, Pagamakatao cluster, PankaMagabayan cluster, and Pagkamakakalikasang cluster. So under this each clusters, we find the values that is found in the preambles of our 1987 Philippine Constitution. So I will give you short explanations because in the simplified course pack that I will provide you, I make sure that the contents that I chose is that it will lead us all into, hopefully will develop these values, and it starts with how our cognitive ability or your mind understands these values in order that it will be sooner or later translated into action because you have a better understanding of these values. Okay, so I begin with Pagkamakadios. These good citizenship values are the following: faith in the Almighty God. So what is faith in the Almighty God? In the preamble, it is stated in the first statement that we, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God. So that actually speaks of faith in the Almighty God. So what does it mean to have faith in the Almighty God? Faith here is something that can move mountain. This kind of faith is evident in our experience of EDSA 1 in 1986. This faith throws us into action, and it is the single biggest factor that made EDSA work, one that indeed moved mountains. Okay, so we as Filipino, our faith is we have this trademark in our Filipino value, that is having this faith in God. Next is what we call respect for life. So it is also found in that preamble, the respect for life. So it means that every person's life is a precious gift, and no individual has the right to harm or destroy it. That's why you find this in our week 3, article 3, section 1 says that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So at this point, as you can see, the preamble is actually expressing the ideals that all the articles provided in that constitution would really reflect what we really want for our nation as it is expressed in the preamble. That's why this is very important to know the preamble, because this is where we express the ideals of our nation. So the third value is what we call order. So order is so essential to us that we even have to follow a particular order in the case of loving, like loving God, loving our family, our country. So order entails the discipline of the mind, of our emotion, and our action. So some values and virtues that may be required when wishes to develop the value of order are prudence, temperance, discipline, humility, diligence, patience, and resilience. By the way, I'm very sorry for the barking of the dogs. Please don't mind them. Okay, let us continue with work. So how important is work according to Karl Marx, a philosopher. Man is destined to work. It is his nature. So for us, it is good to learn to improve our talents, learn to invest our God-given talents in your work. So as a Filipino, we should strive towards self-reliance as we want to improve our skills and then become a fruitful member of our society as a citizen of this country. The last one is what we call concern for the family and future generations. It's also expressed in the preamble. So what does it mean? Our family is worth more than any worldly gain. We should be vigilant and possess the resolve to always value our family as our most precious gift after our own lives. So we make it a point to spend quality time with your family, as this will unite you more closely and bind you in understanding and love. Okay, now let us continue with the second cluster, and this time we talk about Pagkamakatao. So the values that are, it is also expressed in the preamble, this love, freedom, peace, justice, and truth. So I will just share to you a little of what is this all about. Love, of course you are quite familiar of this word love. So love is the value from which the other values will develop and form a good person. It is a commitment to action, an intellectual and thoughtful decision. So it's not just based on feeling, no? It is a decision here, now, and forever. So it entails responsibility, sacrifice, and service. In other words, in short, it's simply doing good to others. So if love is real, it never stops reaching out. Okay, so let's continue with freedom. What is freedom? It is the power of the power to act or not to act, and so to perform deliberate acts of one's own. So it's a gift freely given, and it should be something freely shared. So the value of freedom is never without the virtue of responsibility. So it should always be coupled with responsibility, because without freedom, without responsibility, it will result to anarchy, kanang gubota. Okay, so that's how important is freedom. Next is what we call peace. Value of peace. We know that peace begins with oneself, and it's a God-given gift that must be continuously nurtured by prayer and reflection of one's values and principles. Peace can be attained and sustained when people develop a deep consciousness of their faith in God, concern for our fellow men, loyalty to our country, and respect for the environment. So this is how we can attain peace. Next is the value of truth. Truth is important to a society because it is a condition for freedom. That's why the truth will set you free. Truth entails transparency, honesty, integrity, sincerity, and humility. It also entails sacrifice and effort. It is a worthy cause that highlights our own capacity as persons to do good and live with integrity. So that's how important is truth. And the last one for this Pagkamakatao is justice. Justice is the key to progress, the foundation of freedom, and the bedrock principle of unity and equality among all men. So justice consists in the firm and constant will to give God and neighbor their due. So in its simplest term, justice is giving what is due. So that's how important also. So these truths, love, freedom, justice, hopefully that we will be able to develop all of this, and that will make us makatao. Okay, so let's proceed to the third cluster, Pagkamakabayan. So in PankaMagabayan, it is also articulated in the preamble, the unity, equality, respect for law and government, patriotism, promotion of the common good. So what is unity? Unity is about sharing a common vision and working together towards the same dream of social justice, prosperity, and happiness. So a sense of duty will lead our people to feel each other's needs and deepest sentiments, and will lead them to share in the fruit of each other's progress. So it is really important that we have to live in unity despite our diversity. Next, let us proceed to the second values, being Makabayan, and this is what we call equality. Okay, being equal. So where does this idea of equality should be based? No? As we come from the same maker, we share in the same destiny to live happily, in dignity, in peace and harmony. So we are, because of the dignity that God has given to us, this is what makes us all equal. No one is above each other. Okay, so it is universally accepted truth that all men are created equal, gifted with reason and free will. This is the basic principle on which our own fundamental rights are based. So that's why every citizen is assured of equality if his basic human rights are ensured. So that's how important is this. Next is respect for law and government. So there are two things here that we have to understand. What is the purpose of the law? Why do we have government? So let's start with the law. The law is not meant to curtail freedom. It is meant to ensure that every citizen act responsibly while exercising his freedom. So the law and the government are not meant to enslave people. They are meant to establish order in society, and by their duly constituted powers, free people from the bondage of poverty, ignorance, insecurity, violence, and disregard. So that's how the work of the government and the law. Okay, the law and government should not serve the interests of a few, especially those who are in positions of power and authority. Rather, the law and government must give preferential option to serve and pursue the interest of the poor and less fortunate members of society. Okay, that's why we have to serve and protect. It's one of their duty, law and the government, so we have to respect them. Okay, next is what we call patriotism. So what is patriotism? It is about loving one's country by being a steadfast good citizen in one's daily encounter of the challenges of life and society. So are you patriotic like that of Dr. Jose Rizal? So that is the best example that I can give you. He even wrote an article, Amor Patrio, love of country, in Tagalog, pag-ibig sa tinubuang lupa. So it is really a call for every citizen, all of us. It is every person's sense of duty and responsibility to contribute in the development of his country. So as you prepare yourselves to become professionals, I hope that you will have a chance to serve our country, or in your own little way become the agent of change or catalyst of transformation for us to have a better Philippines. Okay, next is the last is promotion of the common good. I'm very sorry for the dogs. Okay, promotion of the common good is about the okay, I will continue despite the barking of the dogs. Okay, So the value of promoting the common good should move us to share and reach out to others in need. We should always consider the welfare of the common good of other people when we make decisions or when we act on something. So we should all be vigilant and steadfast in guarding our human rights, as this ensures the general welfare of the common good. Okay. Next, the last slides that I'm going to share with you is Pagkamakakaligtasan. It means concern for the environment. Okay, so every person's mission of stewardship demands that he be more conscious of his actions when he relates with the environment. We should develop a sense of urgency in the way we treat our environment, that is, respect for the integrity of creation. So we should treat Mother Nature as our own mother. So in every sense of the word, she feeds us and sustains our life, treats us kindly and lovingly by providing for us faithfully, not expecting anything in return other than respect and love.
That is all for my discussion. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe this video. God bless everyone.